procession of the Gade College 2014 commencement is beginning. The procession is led by College Marshal, Professor Roberta Steinberg from the School of Social Science and Humanities. Professor Steinberg will be followed by the master's degree candidates, and then followed by class valedictorian Nicole Piacentini. Ms. Piacentini will lead the student procession, following the students, the faculty, and the platform party recess. Please remain standing until the entire procession has reached their seats and the program has officially begun.
take note because this is a day of regalia, right? So I'm supposed to say this. On behalf of the Mount Ida Board of Trustees, I call this the 115th commencement of the Mount Ida College to order. Personal hope is a little disorder today, not in a bad way, in a good way. Let's have some fun today because you did make it. This is great news. We are going to rise now for the national anthem, led by Miss Monica Johnston, School of Design, class of 2013. And after the national anthem, I would like you all to stay standing because we're going to go right into the invocation after that. Thank you.
Alejandro.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last streaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
Anyone knows how hard that is to sing? Was that outstanding or what? Family Club is next, and then America's Got Talent. This morning, the invocation will be delivered by Reverend Father Dean Paleologos of St. Spyridon Greek Orthodox Church in Worcester, Massachusetts. Followed by the invocation, President Barry Brown will give a warm welcome from the college. Father?
Before I begin with the invocation, I'd like just for a moment for us to bow our heads for the young girls who were kidnapped in Nigeria and for their safe return. Heavenly Master, enthroned in suns and stars, and enshrined in the hearts and minds of all humankind, help us to see the world through your eyes, so that we may see each other as sisters and brothers. We beseech you to bless the students, the faculty, the administrators of Mount Ida, and their families and friends with soundness of mind, body, and soul. Lord of Lords and King of Kings, look upon the class of 2014 as they commence on a new chapter. Inspire their minds to imagine impossible dreams. Illumine their eyes to envision a world filled with justice. Direct their feet to always walk in the path of righteousness, and transfigure their hands away from closed fists of hatred into open arms of love and care. Almighty God, as we leave this esteemed universe of learning, remind us that as your children, we are all citizens of the world, and that our race is the human race. Only then will hope become high and life worth living. ushering a new age of peace and promise, wherein, as your prophets foretold, we will finally love mercy, do justice, and walk humbly with our Lord. Amen. How you doing, Mustangs? Okay, you sit down. After what I saw going on last night around here, I think some of you should sit down. Remember, you gotta get back up. So today we celebrate the accomplishments of the 325 members of the class of 2014. My thanks to you for gathering here today. It's a truly joyous moment for all of us, and it's filled also with some gravity and ceremony as each of us tell you about making your way into the world. My thanks to Father Dean for his words of inspiration to each of us. Father Dean and his wife Cindy are dear and longtime friends of my wife Ellen and me, and more importantly, their daughter attended Mount Ida and was in the fashion program, and we are very grateful to him for coming all the way from Worcester to be with us today. My thanks to our distinguished Board of Trustees, our esteemed and dedicated faculty, our honored guests, alumni, parents, children, relatives, and friends who join us, and to those who share the platform with us today, honored degree recipients, Sarah Ann Shaw, Stephen Wright, dedicated leaders of our city and nation, Congressman Joseph Kennedy, and Mayor Seti Warren. We're grateful to each of you for joining us. And finally, to our graduates, I'm going to have you endure a few more moments of advice before we set you free. Last time I get to do this, I suppose. You're going to hear a great deal today about your future, from those who are more connected to the past than they are to the future. The irony of today is that for us, this college will soon be your past, not your future. Now that sounds a bit sad. It's not. Our task during these college years is to do what the prior generation, our parents and our teachers, did for us. To provide the context of what has come before in words and pictures, in poetry and music and science and in math, of what people have done before you. How they succeeded and how they failed. How they hurt one another, how they cared for one another, how they were evil, and how they demonstrated human traits of kindness and compassion. So we have taught you, we have taught you, we have done this, however, not selflessly, not altruistically, but because as your teachers we believe in the infinite power of education to lead humanity forward, to create our future as well as your own. Because we were you a generation ago. We know you will see music and art and literature and dance and lacrosse and baseball and movies and texting and food and football much differently than we do. And that is so exciting and so scary to all of us. But that's the way the world becomes better. That's the way communities become better. That's the way families grow. That's the way suffering becomes less. From this moment on, young women and men of Mount Ida College, we will trust you
not only with your own future, but with our own. Because this college, more than any other, is the face of the new America. We are black, white, Latino, Asian, straight, lesbian, gay, and many of you are the first in your families to go to college. And at this great college, we see America's strength and new ideas and new energy in all of you, in the society that we have here and the society that you will create when you leave here. New ideas, new thinking, new energy that no society has yet been able to duplicate other than our own. At this celebration today is the new America. Knowing each of you as I do, it is going to be a strong and vibrant, pretty exciting, kind of weird place. So it is a sacred trust that we now pass from one generation to the next. Keep that trust, keep it well, and with great respect. I look out now at your faces, and quite frankly, they're staring beyond me, and they're staring beyond this stage. I get it. And I know by your doing that our future is in very, very good hands. So now, by the authority vested in me, by our Board of Trustees, and by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and as President of Mount Ida College, I declare these proceedings open for the purpose of awarding degrees to our distinguished graduates, and thereby welcoming each of you into the fellowship of educated women and men, with all the benefits and responsibilities attendant thereto, and ask only that you use your education to do good for your families, for your loved ones, for your community, and for your nation. My congratulations to all of you, and oh yes, go Mustangs! My distinct pleasure to introduce a real friend of this college. Somebody who has been at our side, my side, in the 2 years that I have been here with support, enduring support, and has come to us today in his second commencement to bring greetings from the City of Newton, Mayor Cindy Warren, who will now bring you greetings from the city. Thank you very much.
President Brown has the capacity and authority to award degrees. I have the capacity to pave roads. And that's one road that you drove to get to this convention. I'm really proud of that. I am so excited and thrilled to be here. I love being at this incredible institution. I really want you all to give a loud round of applause to President Brown. He's an extraordinary leader. Thank you, Mr. President. He's amazing. And Chairman Byrne, pleasure to be with you today as well. I want to thank the families, and I want to congratulate our graduates today, the class of 2014, for your work to get to this point. I was honored to be here last year to receive an honorary degree and address you all. And it really accentuates the special relationship that we have with Mount Ida. We've had several students work as interns, including a graduate today, Lauren Metzler. Lauren, you out there? There she is. Lauren, thank you for interning in our public health department. The college has also generously allowed us to use facilities, put on important conferences statewide and local on education and professional development. We're pleased with that. Thank you for making Board of Trustees and faculty this college a national model and ensuring that over 80% of your graduates get jobs related in the area of their field of education within 11 months of graduation. That is outstanding. This innovative model matches the specific goals we have in making Newton one of the most innovative places to live and work and get a great education. I know that each and every one of you have a special opportunity to lead our community, state, and country in your respective fields. Before I close, I want to take a moment to also acknowledge the recipients of honorary degrees today, my good friend Sarah Ann Shaw and Stephen H. Wright. Thank you for your commitment to opportunity and justice for people of all walks of life. And finally, you know, it's really special that you are honoring a very good friend of mine and truly one of the most dynamic public servants in the country today, Congressman Joe Kennedy. Joe, Congressman, your commitment to STEM, education, veterans, and opportunity for all are critical in making you a great leader in our state and representing this district and our values in Washington. Finally, to friends and family, I'll end here, and graduates, congratulations, good luck. I know you will all be successful because of the great training and education you've received at this incredible institution right here in Newton. Thank you. Congratulations.
What's up? Relax. Now my honor to introduce Sonia Wiggins, the president of the class of 2014 and a graduate of the School of Design.
President Brown, members of the Board of Trustees, teachers, parents, friends, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2014, it is an honor to speak to all of you today. Before I begin, I would like to thank a few people who, without their help, none of this would have been possible. My fellow class officers, Lauren Metzler, Stephanie Keogh, my two class advisors, Professor Kathleen Potter, and Candace Crabtree. As well, thank you to the support of Trey and Addie, who made Senior Week a success, as you guys already know. And once again, most importantly, my partner in crime, Vice President Lauren Metzler. So, 4 years ago, I was delivering my first speech for an event called the Fire and Water Ceremony in front of Shaw Fountain. I had the opportunity to read my speech again. Even though 4 years have passed, we have not changed in so many ways. We are an eccentric class, full of characters. What truly makes a community are the people. The Mount Ida campus has changed a great deal over the past 4 years. The buildings, the grounds, the facilities have improved for the betterment. But what has not changed are the friendships, the relationships and the connections that we have with one another. The buildings may have changed, but the characters, they remain. There are some things that won't change. Leo Archibald will always be dressed in a perfectly fitted suit. Professor Martin will be sporting a bow tie. And Donna from Student Affairs will be walking around campus 3 times a day. Some of the characters have pushed us to succeed. I'm a fashion merchandising major, as you can't tell from my fake eyelashes. Math is not my favorite subject, and I admit to you all, here in front of my parents, that I put off taking college algebra until the 2nd semester, so now, yeah. Nothing like wait until the last minute. Don't ask me when I finish writing this speech either. But I was writing it, and then came name Professor David Lowry into my life. A good friend of mine, Angela Cateas, who is quite another character, with her funky hair and her passion of her country breeze, introduced me to him, which I thank her deeply for that, because David Lowry pushed me and made me think differently and not dread math. I passed, and it was because of him. Each of us have succeeded because of a relationship with a faculty member, a staff member, or a fellow student. Each of us has one person that we can credit with helping us succeed. I took the time to ask some of my classmates how they define success. Their answers were all quite different. Calvin Claiborne hoped to be a young, successful CEO in whatever he decides to own, and to be in a position to give his family the best life possible. Haley Trainer's definition of success is to be able to look back and say that she had the time of her life. For Hector Rodriguez, success in his eyes is not just making money. It is to live every day for his passion of fashion design and pursue a degree in designing bridal gowns. We have succeeded thanks to all that Oneida College has provided us, from teaching to support to improvements of the facilities. We are fortunate as a class because we have bridged from the previous administration, goals, and facilities to the current day. We have seen and survived physical changes to buildings. We have new offerings provided to us, and we have seen new faces arrive on campus. President Brown, you are a character too. Our class embodies the bridge that we raised over 7,000 to renovate and restore. The bridge that connects our residence halls to the campus center where we eat, live, and some of us sleep. Even Alex Story. The bridge connects us from our freshman year where we weren't all that confident in ourselves, but today when there is not a motor lice or we should not feel anything but confident. We are successful, and we made it this far as a class with shared experiences. We have seen the football team with their division championship game. We have smiled at Amigo. We have joined clubs, held events, talked until the wee hours of Chamberlain. Throughout it all, Oneida College characters have been there to support our success and inspire us. One character I would like to close with is Jane Howard. Jane passed away in February of 2012. Miss Howard was sarcastic, opinionated, and nothing you could ever do was good enough. But she pushed and supported and encouraged me to do something life-changing. I studied abroad in Chile during the fall semester of my sophomore year. Because of this experience, I have a second family, a second home, and even more characters in my life. Thank you, Jane Howard, for changing my life. In closing, I want to talk about you all. My classmates, my friends, my loves, my inspirations. You are the biggest characters in my life. And without you, Oneida College would have not been blunt. It would have not been what it's been, a blessing. Success is for you and me different. As I noticed previously, we all will judge our own success as individuals. But remember, don't be so hard on yourself. This is a great day. Draw the energy and spirit of the day deep into the future. Let's walk together one last time like divas over that bridge. It is now my honor to introduce Vice President for Academic Affairs, Ronald Akey. Vice President Ronald Akey will serve as a host for the remainder of the commencement ceremony. Vice President Akey came to Oneida College in 2001 as an adjunct faculty member. He's awesome, by the way. He soon became an associate professor and then director of the School of Business. He assumed the role of Vice President for Academic Affairs in the fall of 2012. Welcome, Vice President Akey.
Well, Sonia's right. You are a bunch of characters. But you're a bunch of wonderful characters, and I've known many of you for 4 years. And you guys represent everything that's wonderful and special about this school. And this is always just the happiest day in Mustang City when we get to see you walk across the stage and launch yourselves into the world. Today is all about you, and it should be all about you. But before we get to you, there are a couple of other groups that I want to ask you all to thank and recognize. First are the folks who are sitting behind you, your family and friends and supporters who have helped you, encouraged you, supported you, lectured you, and much more, I'm sure. I'd like to ask the graduates to give a round of applause for your family. The second group I'd like to ask you to recognize, and I'd like to ask them to stand, are the faculty who are sitting on the sides. In fact, could you please stand? So they nagged you for your missing homework, and they lectured you for coming late to class, and they said your writing wasn't good enough. And Sonia, when are you going to take that math course? You're a senior now? But I got to tell you, I had the opportunity to go and see many of your capstone presentations over the last 2 weeks. And I can say with 100% confidence as the Chief Academic Officer of the college that you are 100% ready to launch your professional careers and to go out and contribute in the world. We are extremely proud of you, and we are expecting great things of you. Now, one of my favorite moments in the program, in addition to seeing you all walk across the stage, is the presentation of the Lettieri Award for Excellence in Teaching. Last night I had the pleasure to present the Lettieri Award for Excellence in Learning to Darlene Vallejo. And today we present the counterpart of that award, which is the Award for Excellence in Teaching. Teaching is an art, and it's the most important thing we do on this campus. The responsibility of finding the appropriate balance of challenge and support to you as students while encouraging you to become outstanding citizens, critical thinkers, is at the heart of what makes our faculty such an integral part of the institution. Since 1999, the Ronald J. Lettieri Award has been presented to recognize the scholarship and especially the teaching of our finest faculty members. Candidates for the Lettieri Teaching Award are nominated by students, administration, and faculty at the college, and a committee of faculty and administrators reviews the nominations and awards the most deserving recipient. I'd like to ask last year's recipient, Dr. Alan Whitcomb, Dean of Curriculum and Academic Quality, to please escort Professor Jeffrey Megna from the School of Applied Sciences to the podium.
Jeff, I'm thrilled to be able to publicly congratulate you on being awarded the Ronald J. Lettieri Award for Excellence in Teaching, Mount Ida College's highest teaching honor. In preparing what I wanted to say today, I learned that your life has been committed to teaching and working on behalf of students, and that commitment to students began long before you arrived at Mount Ida College. As I looked at your prior employment history, after I did a background check, I noticed that you have worked with young people, high school students, and elementary students for quite some time as a director of residential life, assistant principal, and most importantly, as a teacher. Then in 2004, we had the good fortune of having you join us at Mount Ida College as a part-time instructor before joining the faculty full-time in 2013, and then this past year as the department chair for the funeral service education program. In reviewing the students' course evaluations and in reading over your students' comments from those evaluations,
The first thing that crossed my mind was that you must have written the comments yourself because they're so complimentary. Seriously, they're impressive, and I'm a bit envious about what all the good things the students have to say about you. A nominator for this award said of you, Professor Megna is what I've always pictured a great college professor to be. Another said he is very challenging, but more importantly, fair. A third student wrote, I appreciated how hard he pushed us and look forward to taking another class with him. And yet another said, Jeff Megna cares about me, us. He's a great teacher, always has the time for his students. And my favorite, personal favorite, he's an excellent teacher, very well dressed, knows his stuff. He always wears a delightful tie. So Leo Archibald, you have some competition. So Jeff, let me end by sharing two things I discovered about you as I prepared my remarks for today. The first is that teaching, educating, and working with and for students is a part of your essence. It's a part of your DNA. It's in your blood. It is your life's work. And the second thing I discovered from your long history of educating students is that you're a lot older than you look. Maybe preserving one's youthful appearance has something to do with formal training in mortuary science. Congratulations, Jeff.
Now the time of the program for the conferring of honorary degrees, and as I said at the outset, we are extraordinarily fortunate to have on the platform today remarkable individuals to whom we are honored to present degrees. Would Trustee Sylvia Simmons of the Mount Ida College Board of Trustees please approach the podium and present our first candidate for honorary degree.
President Brown, it is my distinct honor and privilege to present to legendary broadcaster and my lifelong friend, Sarah Ann Shaw, from Mount Ida College's honorary degree.
Sarah Ann Shaw, the term trailblazer is one that has been used to describe you. You not only opened doors previously closed to talented African-American journalists, but you also set a new standard for broadcast journalism in New England and became a fixture on Boston's television networks. Early on, you were involved in the NAACP youth movement and the Boston Northern Student Movement, where you crusaded for voter education and for fair housing. With extraordinary determination, you realized your dream of television journalism when WBZ-TV hired you in 1969 as the first African-American reporter, and went on, yes, Sarah said female reporter, but to me it's reporter. And you went on for 30 years to be the voice of the Black community, defining minority affairs programming as well as news content. Your awards for journalism and public service are numerous, including the Lifetime Achievement Award from the National Association of black journalists. For your many, many contributions to society, to civil rights, and your rare ability to unite people in causes that are good and just, we honor you today. Sarah Ann Shaw, journalist, civil rights advocate, trailblazer, Mount Ida College hereby presents you with the degree Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Congrats.
I want to thank Mount Ida very much for this honor. I envy the students, because you all are just getting started. My days are behind me, although I still do a lot of volunteer work. But remember, whatever you do, you're not just doing it for yourself. You're doing it for others. If you don't do it for others, then you're really not doing anything. Keep that in your mind all the time. Work hard, don't be discouraged, and know that what you're doing is important. I corrected him, the president, about our first female reporter, because he's used to it, okay. But there weren't that many female reporters when I started in 1969. I'll tell you, I went to the State House once to do an interview, and a woman who was the secretary told me, "Oh, he can't see you now, he's going to be interviewed by someone." I said, "Yes, but I'm the reporter." Being a reporter for 30 years was really interesting. I saw many things change. I met many interesting people. I saw parts of the state I would not have ordinarily seen. I was born in Boston, grew up in Boston. Someone said, "Go to Worcester." Someone said, "Oh, go down to the Cape." I mean, I knew Boston. That's what I knew. And so being at Channel 4 really helped me broaden my own perspective about who lived in the world and what they were doing. I want to congratulate all the graduates. Go out and make a difference. And thank you very much, Mount Ida, for this great honor.
Vice Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Judith Allen, come forward to present the next honorary degree candidate.
President Brown, it is my distinct honor and privilege to present esteemed litigator Stephen H. Wright for Mount Ida College's honorary degree.
Stephen H. Wright, you are known and widely respected for your sound counsel and thoughtful leadership in the circles of business, government, and philanthropy. And on a personal level, you and I are former colleagues and great friends. As an executive partner of the nationally known law firm of Holland & Knight in Boston, you serve as lead counsel and strategic advisor to Fortune 500 companies. You have traveled the nation as an advocate for economic growth that benefits our workers, families, and communities. Early in your career, You were deputy counsel to the mayor of New York City, where you resolved policy and legal issues in the most complex urban environment in the country. You then moved back to Massachusetts to a distinguished role as chief of the Civil Litigation Bureau of the Massachusetts Attorney General's Office, advocating for the public on regulatory issues. In your law practice, you have handled such diverse matters as the diversity plan for our nation's largest transit system and a strategy for allowing the Center of Disease Control to offer new vaccines for our country's children. Your practice is widespread, complex, and engaging. You have a strong belief in giving back to the community, and it's benefited many of those who live in our communities. You were appointed by Mayor Menino to the Economic Advisory Board and the Standard Committee on Ethics of the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court has had your service for a number of years. Your nonprofit and community work, coupled with your skill as an attorney, has helped you earn recognition by publications including the Boston Business Journal, Massachusetts Lawyers Weekly, which included you among the top 10 lawyers in this area, and Boston Magazine. As one of the nation's best and foremost lawyers and counsel, you are a role model to the young and a staunch advocate for individual and civil rights. Stephen Wright, attorney, philanthropist, and friend, Mount Ida College is proud to honor you and to award you the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto.
Good morning. As I was coming in, I was saying you guys are a really good-looking crowd. I'd like to thank the trustees of Mount Ida College, Dr. Simmons, especially President Brown, my former colleague at Holland & Knight. I'm very humbled to receive this honorary degree, especially in the company of Representative Joseph Kennedy, and Annie, an icon who I have admired and grew up watching in Sarah Ann Shaw. To the extent that I'm a diversity role model, it's because I've had great support, mentorship, and sponsorship that we have from icons such as those in Sarah Ann Shaw and others like Wayne Budd and Chief Justice Roger Graduarion. More importantly, I have great support from my family, my wife, who's the president of the company, who doesn't hesitate to remind me that she is really the true diversity leader and role model in the family. I also have the support of a wonderful daughter whose hard work and determination make me proud, and her humor keeps me humble. Professionally, I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't give thanks to the firm Holland & Knight that's allowed me to do all that I do. I simply encourage you to celebrate your opportunity for leadership and your continued success as you graduate from Mount Ida. Congratulations, this is one of the most important achievements of your life. You now open the door to a wonderful future in the global multicultural world, and I encourage you really to find your voice and to express it and to follow your dreams. And lastly, accept this honorary degree on behalf of my mother, who was a leader in the times working with Sarah Ann Shaw and has a multicultural center named after her, and who's also my inspiration. Congratulations on your great day. Thank you.
Massachusetts. Great-grandson, great-great-grandson, grandson, grandnephew, and son of one of America's preeminent political families. You've chosen your own path, to continue a commitment to public service on behalf of all Americans. Following graduation from Stanford University, you joined the Peace Corps, an agency that not only has a personal connection to you, but a familiar one, as your great-uncle John F. Kennedy formed the Peace Corps as a means to encourage mutual understanding between Americans and people of other nations and cultures. During your 2 years in the Peace Corps, you worked on economic development and community reinvestment in the Dominican Republic. As a student at Harvard Law School, you continued your commitment to assisting those in need as an active member of the Legal Aid Bureau, providing pro bono law services to low-income families in the Boston area. Most recently, serving as Assistant District Attorney on the Cape and the Islands, you served in the courts as a prosecutor and defender of our laws. When Barney Frank announced his retirement, you made the decision to run for the Congress representing the Massachusetts 4th Congressional District, which includes Newton. You are a staunch advocate of individual rights, of the rights of communities, individuals, workers, the underprivileged. All of those have been important to you as you serve in the Congress of the United States. For your district and your nation, you have served admirably during your time. As a member of the Foreign Relations Committee, you have traveled to war-torn Afghanistan to meet with President Karzai to understand the complexity of our involvement in that nation. You are committed to social justice and to economic equality for our district and for our state and for all America. We are very grateful to have you serving on our behalf and extraordinarily grateful for your presence here today. Joseph B. Kennedy, today we honor you with a degree, honorary degree, in Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all privileges attended thereto. Thank you so much.
All right. Mr. President, thank you very much for that kind introduction. Thank you for the kind introduction to the Mount Ida community. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. And Mr. President, thank you for your commitment to both Mount Ida and our beloved city of Newton. To my fellow honorary degree recipients, Sarah Ann and Stephen, I think you'll agree with me that there's nothing better than being handed a college degree for just showing up. On a serious note, thank you both for your extraordinary commitment and service to our Commonwealth. I'm humbled to be considered in your company today. To the class of 2014 and your family, your friends, your fellow Mustangs, congratulations. It is an extraordinary achievement. Endless hours in Wadsworth and Chamberlain, light. Now the only thing standing between you and that diploma is me. Don't worry. Brevity is the soul of wit, but also the secret to a well-received commencement address. I have a feeling that some of the graduates out there will thank me. Those sunglasses aren't fooling anyone.
only chock full of advice. I know this because it relates to the one piece of advice that I will actually give you today. If in the future, any of you are ever asked to give a commencement address, do yourself a favor and avoid Googling the best commencement speeches of all time. There's no better way to convince yourself that this was a terrible mistake than to spend a couple of hours watching some of the great orators of our time. Several presidents, Oprah, Stephen Colbert, impart their years of wisdom and experience on an audience of enraptured graduates. Not to mention the esteemed mayor of this city, Teddy Warren, who delivered this address just last year. Mr. Mayor, I don't care if there are 365 days between us, I still don't like having to follow you in a speaking program. Graduates, as someone who is just a bit more than a decade removed from the seats that you sit in today, I don't know if I have all that much life-altering wisdom to offer you. That's not to say that the last decade hasn't been without some tough lessons. I've learned that no matter how many years I spent in rural Latin America as a Peace Corps volunteer, I was never going to be mistaken for a local. I learned that when you're assigned to sit in the first row, in your first class, and your first day of law school, it's a really, really good idea to have done the reading. And I learned that when a Boston Globe reporter comes to interview you about all that you've learned in your first year of Congress, it's best not to get lost in the parking garage on the way to a committee hearing. But I don't know how useful you'll find much of that wisdom, so let's skip the advice. Your parents, your professors, your peers can give you all the wisdom and insight that you'll need. And if they don't, you can come find me afterwards and I'll give you a quick rundown of what I learned on Google. Instead, I have a favor to ask of all of you. As you walk away from this tight-knit community and embark on the pleasure and pain that is early adulthood, you will find challenges that test your wits, your hearts, and your resolve. Promotion won, jobs lost, pennies pinched, families raised, hearts broken, homes bought, and every precious moment in between. The often unglamorous but deeply sacred milestones of growing up and growing old in our country. But as you come upon those tests, what I ask of you all today is that you won't ever let anyone say the following 4 words to you. You are too young. Make yourself a promise, right here and right now, in this moment that is unlike any other in the brilliance that is your life. Promise that so long as you are blessed with it, you will wear your youth as a badge of honor. For the record, I don't mean that you should suggest beer pong at the office Christmas party. And tell your boss YOLO when you show up late for work. I'll have to explain that joke to your parents in the back. More than grades, internships, and resumes, it is the fresh eyes, the new ideas, and the clear genes of this generation that are the most valuable assets you can offer the world waiting just outside this campus. In 1966, a young senator from New York named Robert Kennedy took a trip to South Africa. There, in the midst of a country mired in apartheid, he told the students that gathered to hear him speak that, quote, a young monk began the Protestant Reformation, a young general extended an empire from Macedonia to the corners of the world, and a young woman proclaimed the territory of France. It was a young Italian explorer who discovered the New World, and a 32-year-old Thomas Jefferson who proclaimed that all men are created equal. This world demands the qualities of youth. Not a time of life, but a state of mind. A temper of the will, a quality of the imagination, a predominance of courage over timidity, the appetite of invention over the love of youth. It is a revolutionary world we live in, and thus, it is young people who must take the lead. Nearly 50 years later, the need for courage, imagination, risk-taking is as urgent as it has ever been. But a disturbing human trait has persisted. A tendency to use the word youth dismissively, as a way to insinuate a lack of experience, insight, or expertise. Today, thanks to the opportunities you seized in your years here at Mount Ida, you've got plenty of all three. But still, your generation, our generation, more than any other before it, has been plagued by doubt and cynicism about what it can accomplish. There's no lack of opinions out there of so-called millennials, whether it's the cover of Time magazine declaring us the me generation, or opinion makers across the globe trying to fit today's experience that we share into words like selfie or Snapchat. We are wildly creative and impossibly self-centered, resourceful and reckless, virtuous and vain. But of course, the context of our story matters. I doubt there's a person in this audience who doesn't remember where they were when the Twin Towers fell. We came of age in a country that was confronted with its own striking vulnerability, by an economy on its knees, and a government ground to a halt, and division and dysfunction. So the cliff notes to our generation have become well known. Unemployment rates higher than our parents and grandparents, home ownership, 401ks, savings account at record lows, college debt at crushing all-time highs. But as you probably learned at some point over the past 4 years, cliff notes don't tell the whole story. We grew up in a world where women run boardrooms, where young African-American men can turn to their mayor, their governor, and their president and see a face that looks like theirs. Where a young boy immigrates to this country with nothing, grows up on food stamps, goes on to design a social media app that Facebook would buy one day for $19 billion. Millennials are more committed to volunteering and public service than any other generation. We're notoriously more attached to the purpose of our work rather than the salary that comes with it. We're cooperative, more inclined to seek change from the ground up and not accept it from the top down. Our generation, we even look different. You don't have to go any further than the Mount Ida class of 2014 to see the stunning diversity that this truly proud new face of these United States. Yet still, from this day on, you will meet person after person that is inclined to doubt the capability of youth. I can speak to this from some experience. While serving in Congress has certainly given me a few gray hairs, you've probably noticed that I'm on the younger edge of the folks you see in elected office. When I jumped into a race to succeed Congressman Barney Frank 2 years ago, it was a frame that I heard time and again. He's too young. He's just a kid. He doesn't have the experience. Let me be clear. Experience matters. Wisdom accumulates. Time heals, and age softens. Our lives are stories, and graduates, we are in the early chapters, which means there's an entire lifetime that lies ahead. We'll make some really big mistakes, learn a thing or two, gain more confidence, intuition, and understanding every single day. But as these days and years pass, we'll also lose something. Our youth. That particular mix of fearlessness, hopefulness, inventiveness, shining boldly and brightly in each and every one of you today. And that's okay. Youth was never ours to claim or keep. Rather, she's passed from one generation to the next. An unspoken understanding that in this country, our youngest citizens have never failed to show up on the front lines of her greatest challenges. It's a lesson that's woven throughout our history. 9 African-American school children from Little Rock that marched into an all-white high school to demand that our country prove it. In 1970, when a war-weary country screamed for peace, it was 4 college students from Kent State who gave their lives for that cause, and thousands more that marched on Washington in their memory, declaring that old enough to fight meant old enough to vote. In 2001, there was a record number of men and women under the age of 21 that showed up at their local recruiting offices, signing up to serve their country at the moment she needed them most. In 2011, there was a 19-year-old engineering student named Zach Walls who stood before the Iowa State Legislature and forced the nation to confront its still unfinished march towards social justice. Facing elected officials 2 and 3 times his age, he told them that his beloved family, his sister, and his 2 moms was, quote, really not so different from yours. This is the legacy you pick up today. You carry with you on broad shoulders, strengthened by those to your left and your right, supported by your loved ones behind you. The patient impatience of generations of young American men and women who have not been afraid to demand more and better of their country, or deterred by a long and often rocky road. There are a few certainties in life, but I promise you right now that in these next few years, someone will use your age to make you feel small. They'll say you're too young to take on more responsibility, too inexperienced to pitch an idea, too green to handle a crisis, too naive to understand what's really going on. When that happens, I hope that you will remember the promise that we made here today, that you will never let someone use your age as an excuse to clip your wings. Class of 2014, your youth is your gift. It is fleeting and fast, so cherish it, own it, and put it to work. Use it to be, as Mount Ida has taught you, the best version of yourself. And if I can add a line to that, use it to make our world better, kinder, and stronger than she has ever been. You are not too young. You are not too naive. You are not too inexperienced. You are exactly what your country needs. So hurry up. Your world is waiting.
We will now proceed to award degrees to our graduates. Will the candidates for the master's degree please rise? President Brown, I'm pleased to present the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Management.
By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Mount Ida College and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I hereby award the degree of Master of Science in Management with all of the rights, privileges, and honors appertaining thereto. Congratulations to each of you.
Will the commencement hosts please escort the master's degree candidates to the stage?
May Abdul-Hair. Laura Jen Rock. Liang Ding. Adam DiTulio III. Kenneth Richard Dory. Yang Shu Fu.
Effective degree.
Well, okay. By the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Mount Ida College in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I hereby award the degree of Bachelor of Art, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Liberal Arts, respectively, with all of the rights, privileges, and honors appertaining thereto. My sincere congratulations to each of you.
Will the commencement host please escort the baccalaureate degree recipients led by the class valedictorian to the stage.
Jennifer Rose Arias.
Stefan Michael Jarvis. Kenny G. Ali K. Keskintas. Arthur George Nibbs Jr. Mackenzie Lamore. Chufeng Lee. Jiacheng Liu. Anna C. Lynch. Gabrielle Alexandra Martinez. Katrina L. Nelson. Ricardo E. Oliveira. Dominic Joseph Pazia. Heather Ann Poirier. Jonathan Anthony Perota. Darren
trustees, graduates of Mount Ida College of the class of 2014. Congratulations. Graduates, turn around. Yeah, turn around, face that way, okay? I want you to salute your families, your friends, parents, children, significant others. Welcome to the stage. Okay. Now you gotta sit down for just a couple more minutes. Yeah. You are now officially alumni of this 115-year-old institution. It is now my privilege to introduce Stacy Dorsey, President of the Mount Ida College Alumni Association, to bring a welcome to you from the Alumni Council.
Congratulations, class of 2014. My name is Stacy Dorsey of class of 2002 and the president of the Mount Ida College Alumni Council. I would like to officially welcome you to the Mount Ida College Alumni Association. You are now among a group of 14,000 alum who live in 49 of the 50 country's 50 states, plus the District of Columbia, as well as 55 countries worldwide. I encourage you to stay connected to each other, your fellow alum, and the college through events hosted by the Alumni Association. Be proud of being a Mustang. Bring back your achievements to Mount Ida College by making us aware of your milestones in your career and your personal life. Never lose touch with your alma mater. Congratulations on this great achievement, and I look forward to seeing you in an event in the not too distant future.
She's right. We really do want to see you back, so please return and visit us. Now please rise and join us for the singing of the college alma mater sung by Monica Johnson, School of Design, class of 2013. She's accompanied by Calvin Conyers, School of Business, class of 2005. Awards and music are in your program, and following the alma mater, please remain standing for the benediction read by Reverend Father Dean Calvillo.
Taught us all, all the most
I asked for all the things that I might enjoy life. I was given life that I might enjoy all things. I got nothing that I asked for, but everything that I hoped for. Almost despite myself, my unspoken prayers were answered, and so I, among all people, am most richly blessed. Amen.
On behalf of the entire Mount Ida College community, I extend congratulations to all of our graduates. Before we end, there's one last thing we have to do. Grab those tassels. Okay, ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All of you to join President Brown, the trustees, faculty, and staff of the college at a reception in our campus center. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 commencement of Mount Ida College has concluded. We ask that you please remain seated and refrain from blocking the aisles until the platform party, faculty, and students have exited the tent. Thank you very much.
Mommy, look!
Hurry, so go ask him how to his grandfather, man.
Yeah. Okay, wait, this is mommy. Where's daddy? Come, daddy.
Y'all gotta get his calm down. You taping? You
I took it up. Come, give me this. Go take a picture.
Oh, yeah. I have the squad is here. The squad is here.
Okay, you guys take a picture. Daddy, come on.
Boy, photo na fellow boy. Photo na fellow boy.